Hi my dears, and welcome back. Today I thought we would do something a little bit different to start out a new series. So this month we're going to be reading The Wind in the Willows by Kenneth Grahame, and I thought it would be fun to start doing a recipe or two based on the book, maybe something that was talked about in the book or something inspired by the story, so that we can enjoy a little adventure through culinary inspiration and through literary inspiration. So this week, I decided that we were going to do some of their picnic drinks. So we're going to start with Ratty's Luscious Lemonade and follow that up with Ratty's Great Ginger Beer. With that, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so for Ratty's Lemonade, we are going to need 1.4 liters or 6 cups of water, and that's going to be divided with 1 cup or approximately 236 milliliters set to the side for your simple syrup. You are also going to need 1 orange, which will be approximately 90 milliliters or 1/4 of a cup of juice. And then 6 lemons, which will be approximately 236 milliliters or 1 cup of juice. You will also need the zest from 2 lemons and the orange. And then you will need 200 grams of sugar. Regular sugar is fine. You will need a saucepan, a scale or your other measuring cups, a zester, and then a funnel and some sort of jar or container to put the ingredients in. So to start, we're going to measure out the sugar into a saucepan. And as I said, you'll need approximately 200 grams of sugar or 1 cup. And I prefer to do everything by weights if I can. So I'm gonna measure out 200 grams. Okay, there's 200 grams. And to the sugar, we are going to zest in our 2 lemons and our orange. If you hear tippy-tapping or noises in the background, that would be our dogs. Like that. That is Pippin. Now, this part is just to impart a little bit of extra lemony goodness to your drink. So if you don't want to do the zesting, you don't have to. I just find that it adds a nice little brightness to your lemonade. You can also leave out the orange if you prefer. Not everybody puts it in there, but I think it adds a little bit of extra sweetness and citrusiness, but it is completely up to you. I'm not going to zest this whole orange, but just a little bit. And we're going to scoop that zest into the container. And now that you have your zest in your sugar, you're going to take your clean fingers and you're going to kind of massage the sugar and the zest together until it gets nice and aromatic, and you'll notice your sugar kind of start to change colors a little bit. And obviously with this, you want to use impeccably clean hands. Wonderful. I can smell the orange and the lemon. And as you can see, the sugar has kind of changed colors a little bit. It's a little bit more orangey yellow. I'll be back in just a moment. I'm going to go wash my hands and then we'll continue. Okay, clean hands again. We are going to take our sugar and that water. And again, it's about 236 milliliters or 1 cup of water. There we go. All right, then we're going to take this over to the stove and I'll meet you there. Okay. So we're going to turn our stove on to medium low. On my stove, I have an induction, so that's about 3. We're going to give it a little bit of a stir, and then we are going to cook this until the sugar is completely dissolved. So you don't really need to bring this to a boil. You don't need to get it really hot or anything like that. You're just looking for the sugar to dissolve and everything to blend together. So we will come back as soon as that is done. Okay, I'm not sure if you can tell with the zest in there, but now you have all of the sugar dissolved and just your water and your zest left. So we're gonna kind of leave that to cool and let those flavors kind of meld together. And while we do that, we can go ahead and go back to the table and juice our fruits, and we'll be good to go. So now we're going to go ahead and juice our fruits. We're gonna start with the orange, and you want about 90 milliliters of orange juice, which is approximately 1 orange. If you have more or less, that's perfectly fine. You can kind of just make this to your own preferences. If you have a juicer, you can use one. I do not. At the moment, I have an electric one, but it's quite loud, so I'm not going to use it on camera. I'll just go ahead and juice them with my hands. You want to roll the fruit on the table for a minute just to kind of help release the juices. We're going to go ahead and cut it. And we'll see how much juice we get. Looks like with this orange, we're probably going to get about 60 milliliters of juice. If you have a juicer, you can probably get more, but like I said. So we got about 70 milliliters of orange juice. And now we'll start with the limes. No, we won't. Now we'll start with the lemons. For the lemons, you want about 1 cup of juice, which is about 236 milliliters. Again, if you have more, great. That will just make things a little bit tartar. But you want to make sure that you have at least a cup of juice between your orange and your lemons. I like mine a little bit tartar and a little bit stronger, so I try to go with more juice, but it is completely up to you. Okay, gonna go ahead and pick the pit out. Okay, I've already measured out the rest of our water that we're going to need, which is the 5 cups of leftover water, approximately 1180 milliliters. We have our approximate 1 cup of juice, and we have our sugar syrup right here. So now all we have to do is combine all of these, and you can strain it if you want. If you don't mind having the zest and the pulp in, you don't have to. I'm gonna go ahead and strain it because I think it looks a little bit nicer. So first things first is we're gonna go ahead and add the juice to the water. This also helps in case I missed any seeds since I was hand zesting and juicing. Okay. Give that a little judge just to get everything out. And then we will add the sugar syrup. And then we stir all of this together until it's nice and combined. And we'll come back in just a moment so that we can decant them into our bottles. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and put the funnel in. And we're gonna begin to pour. This sack makes about 2 liters, so I have 2 1-liter jugs, but if you have a bigger jug, feel free. You can also adjust this recipe however you want. So hopefully I won't make too big of a mess. All right, now we're going to try Ratty's Luscious Lemonade. And for that, I do have a special guest star, my husband, Dan.
Hello.
is going to help me taste test. It is obviously better served cold, so we have some ice here, and we will give it a go. Okay, we have our ice in our glass, and let's give it a pour.
Thank you. That's good. Refreshing.
Yes. I like a little more tartness, so I probably would add some more lemon juice.
Yeah. I feel like there wasn't really a whole lot of juice in these lemons anyway.
It is a little early in the season for lemons, so that makes sense. But it is nice. The orange adds a little bit of extra depth than just plain lemon juice.
Yeah.
I like it.
It'll be nice. It'll be nice on really hot days.
Yes, definitely. Okay. We'll come back a little bit later with ginger beer. And with that, I'll see you in a bit.
Okay, I'll go away and drink this. Bye.
Okay, now we're going to begin with Ratty's Great Ginger Beer. For that, you will need 200 grams of sugar, 120 milliliters of water, plus 1,656 milliliters of water, about 20 grams of freshly grated ginger, 1 lemon, about 1/8 of a teaspoon of yeast, either instant fresh yeast or brewer's yeast. I'm going to be using instant fresh today. And a jug with a lid that will be big enough to hold all of your liquid if you plan on doing the fermentation process, with a little bit of headroom, because it will bubble up. And you are going to want to make sure that it's not completely airtight, but it's airtight enough, because it will bubble. And especially if you're going to be using a glass jar, you don't want it to bust. You can just make the ginger syrup and leave it at that and not do the fermentation process. And I'll explain that in a little bit after we make the syrup. Okay, with that, let's get started. Now, to a saucepan, we're going to add our sugar, which is the 200 grams of sugar, or about 1 cup. Okay. And we are going to add 120 milliliters of water to that. The zest from 1 lemon, if you want. You don't have to add this, but I like the zing that it gives. Okay, and the rest of that lemon will be used for when we start the fermentation process. And then to this, we are also going to add our 20 grams of ginger. And I will come back in just a moment and show you how to peel it. And we have a little grater that we'll grate it with. Okay. So we want our thumb of ginger. And you're gonna want about 2 tablespoons. So that's probably about that much. And then a nice safe way to peel ginger is to take a spoon and just kind of scrape it, because you don't want to take off too much. You just want to take off that papery skin. And if you scrape it with your spoon, you can get most of that off. Fresh ginger smells wonderful. The nice thing about using a spoon is that it also lets you get in kind of all the little nooks and crannies of the ginger finger. Just like that. Now this end is a little bit dry, so I'm going to go ahead and scrape that off. All right, there you go. We have our freshly peeled ginger. And now I have this little tool here that we can use to grate it. And again, we're gonna want about 20 grams of grated ginger. If you don't have one of these, you can always use a knife and finely mince it, or other things. But we're just gonna give this a little rub. And we'll come back once we're ready to add that to our syrup water. Okay, so now we're at the stove. We have our 20 grams of ginger with our lemon zest, our sugar, and our water. We're gonna go ahead and turn the stove on to about medium heat. And again, for my stove, that's about 3 I have an induction. And we're going to give this a little bit of a stir. You don't have to stir this the whole time. All we're looking for is for everything to combine and the sugar to completely dissolve. And once that happens, we will come back and I'll explain the syrup and what our next steps will be. Now, I don't feel any more sugar grains and I don't see any more either. So our simple syrup is done. We're going to go ahead and let this steep and cool for at least an hour so that these flavors can meld and intensify. And once we do that, we will come back and I'll show you how to start the fermentation process. Now, if you don't want to ferment, you can go ahead and leave it at this. You just strain this into a bottle and store it in the fridge. And you can add this syrup to a glass of water, usually about 2 to 3 tablespoons at a time, depending on how strong you like it. You can do still water or sparkling water. And then you have a light ginger ale. The ginger beer does have a little bit of alcohol in it, but it's very minor. But if you want to avoid that, then I would stop here and just add it to water. But if you would like to continue on with the fermentation process, we'll come back in a little bit once this is steeped and I'll show you how to do that. We're back. We have our 1/8 of a teaspoon of yeast already in my jug. To that, I'm going to add the 1 lemon juice. I'm just going to squeeze it into my hand so I can catch the seeds. Okay, there's our lemon juice. And then we are going to strain our syrup into the jug. And this will avoid getting any of that ginger fiber in there, which won't taste, or well, it'll taste fine, but it won't feel very good. This ginger is very pulpy, so you do want to strain this one. Give that pulp a little bit of squeeze so you can get all your syrup out. And finally, we're going to add our 7 cups of water that's remaining. And for that, I'm just going to go ahead and remove the funnel since we're already done straining. I'm going to leave out the rest of that water just because you do want to have a little bit of headroom. In case it expands, you don't want it to expand too much, but that's okay. That just means it's going to be extra flavorful. So I'm going to get in there and I'm just going to give it a little bit of a stir to try and get that yeast at the bottom kind of mixed in. I see I did get a little lemon pip in there, but that's okay. We'll strain that out later. Now that that is all stirred up, we're going to go ahead and cap it. And we're going to leave it in a relatively dark spot. It doesn't have to be completely dark. You just don't want it in direct sunlight. And you don't want it in the refrigerator, because if you put it in the refrigerator right away, the fermentation process is going to take a lot longer to start. So we're going to leave this like this in a dark space for about 2 to 3 days. Once it gets all bubbly, once a day, you want to kind of come and just release the air a little bit. This one has a nice turn lid that I can just turn the lid and release some of the pressure. And we'll come back in a couple of days once everything is fermented and we'll give it a taste.
Pippin is also here.
Yes, he wants to join in.
Yeah.
Nala's under the table.
So.
And the cats are elsewhere.
Yeah.
He's usually better behaved than, I'm gonna lie. He's a puppy. He is puppy. All right, so as you can see, we are back. It's been a couple of days, so the ginger beer has had time to ferment. We did have to lose a little bit because it was a little bit full in this jug. But we're here to try the ginger beer. So I've already got some ice in our glasses because this hasn't been chilled yet. I'm gonna go ahead and pour.
Hello, Pippin.
Hello, Pippin. He would like to be on camera too.
Yeah, you a movie star.
Smells very gingery.
Ooh, yeah, it's punchy. Punchy, punchy, punchy.
All right, cheers.
I drink. It's actually nice.
That's very nice. It's
not carbonated, but
fizzy, but not carbonated.
Effervescent.
You can definitely taste the yeasty fermentation.
Yes.
I won't lie, when we had to empty out a little bit, we did taste it the first day, and it was also very nice. So even without doing the fermentation process, it is still very good.
I mean, we kind of had to check if, you know, we weren't peddling disgusting things.
Yeah,
so,
obviously.
You know,
But no, it's very nice. It's a little beer-y, like
makes sense.
beer tasting.
It is ginger beer.
Yeah. But if you're used to like store-bought ginger beer, which no longer has any actual fermentation in it, then this will be different than that. It does kind of have that bready, yeasty.
Yeah, I'd say leave out the yeast in that case and just drink it as is.
As
just
is.
chill.
Yeah, it won't be fermented in that case. It won't have the little bit of effervescence. You can mix it with like seltzer water or soda water if you wanted a little bit of sparkle.
You are also here.
Pippin agrees. Even when we tasted it the first day without the sparkling water, without the fermentation, it was still really delicious. It's got that nice gingeriness. The fermentation has actually dulled down some of the bite from the ginger.
Yeah. It's not quite as I don't know. I don't want to call it spicy because it's not, but
the punch that ginger has. So if you like that punch, then definitely just drink the syrup without doing the fermentation process.
Might want to, you know, dilute it a little bit with water. But.
Well, yes, don't just drink the syrup whole. I mean, I guess you could, but it would probably be a bit much. But if you like that kind of fermented beer taste, it kind of tastes like, you know, that yeasty maltiness. It kind of has that.
Sure. Eat my foot.
But this works either way. This works as a syrup without the fermentation, or it works with the fermentation.
Yeah.
I honestly couldn't pick a way that I like better. They're just different. So give it a go. It doesn't cost you. Usually when you buy a hand of ginger, we'll have more than enough to do a couple of different options.
Yeah.
So
plus you can add a peel and rosemary or
any sort of add-ins. We've had here in the Netherlands, we've had ginger beers that have had a rosemary. We've had
orange
ginger beers
peel,
that have had orange peel, mint, lemon, which this one has in it, obviously.
Yeah.
Honestly, several other. I think there was one with thyme.
Yeah. Just lots of ways to enhance the flavors.
Yeah.
And just
so you can kind of play around with it and do a couple of different options and see what you like. But there's our 2 drinks for our picnic with Ratty and Mole. Next week, we will come back and we will begin reading The Wind in the Willows. So I hope you join and have a good week. Bye.
Be sure to watch the next one.
Yes, indeed. And subscribe.
Yes, like and subscribe too.